It's by the nose.
As you should.
Keep telling
It was a good time. Right.
Did you see it?
You working long that much? No, I'm just going to
I'm glad you
be
stopped by. Take him to him, baby.
You're about to pop these heads off. I can see it. I got a lot of questions about that beat, buddy. I think
Take him up again.
like, in terms of like watching someone just like no look, do weird shit on the computer, that's how I feel about watching you go for it. Because some crazy Tom Bills that coming out, and I like it. Man. Like,
Can you tell me
there's like
who?
variety between the kids and whatnot. Oh yeah, absolutely. And variety between
Yeah.
the films. Real, you would choose different variety on the kids, on the films in real time. So it's all based upon where you are in the measure.
Word.
So like you're on like a time clock, so it knows like what beat is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you hit it right on beat 1, it'll fill for a whole measure. So but if you hit it just like right on beat 4, like right at the end of the measure, like 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, like it'll just hit that.
So it is like almost not infinite options, but options for every aspect of the phrase where it's like, he's telling me to do it, I'm doing it.
It'll generate a fill based where you on.
Have you seen many people use the Beat Buddy like that?
No. In fact, there was only one other guy that I knew that had it, which was Curtis Unthank, the old bassist of Infinity Spree.
Nice.
And he was the one that actually turned me on to all of Singular Sound in general. And
What
he
is Singular
had,
Sound?
That's the company that makes the Beat Buddy.
Cool.
It's the same company that I use the Eros Loop Studio. That's like the looper I use.
Yeah.
And then I use the Eros MIDI Maestro, which is like the MIDI controller that controls both of them.
Oh.
So it's like they're all compatible with each other. So
Through MIDI.
yes.
Man, how much time is there like external hookup to go on a computer and do this stuff, or is it all handshake deals and?
Yeah, so like there is like a USB out and like you can get into it with a computer and things like that, but it essentially is its own standalone thing.
Yeah.
Like it has enough processing power to like hold hours of music and loops and parts and things like that.
It's a crazy little piece of equipment, and like someone came up and said this to me about my loop setup the other day. It made me feel great. It's like I feel the same way in yours, where it's not hokey at all. You're just running this thing down and having a good time,
right?
Getting to hear the parts that you have at play to yourself, and none of us really know like what's in the bag, man. You know?
Yeah. But it's just like people don't realize what it takes to like get all that set up.
Yes.
And like get all that like, you know, clean and like going to a point where it's like, you know, it looks so flawless and so easy, but like, yeah. How many times have you like been in, you know, just so deep into a song and you're just like, this loop is completely fucked.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely something fun when you have like room to spread out, just to see like one corner start to evolve into this mess that eats the whole thing apart. And, you know, like, not like an overly dramatic way, but like there's an undo switch that Sarah Gorick taught me how to use on the Boomerang. And it's like, if it weren't for that undo switch, I would be unwound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would be feral in the streets because it's so frustrating to have to abandon your loops, you know, mid-song. Totally. It's like, if you don't, especially in the world of like, all my flams and everything like that shows on my loop, or like there's no way of getting it to quantize necessarily.
Right.
And it's made me much more considerate towards those things, and I'm very fulfilled if I don't do it. But if I do it, boy, does it fuck my life up.
So the Eros just recently just went through like this massive update. So it's like you got to like hook it up to the Wi-Fi and get like go through like firmware updates and everything. Like
nice.
Yeah, it's like essentially just like a computer. And for a while, I didn't realize because I really only use it like out at the venue. I don't really plug it in at home, which is connected to my Wi-Fi. But every time I gotta like change something on it, and then I plug it in, my thing's like, "Yo, we got an update. We got like 3 updates," and I'm like, "Oh shit, I probably should do that." So then like I do that because for a while it sucked. Like I couldn't have it all synced up.
They were just it's serial. Like is that what serial means? Like there's a couple of settings on loopers that I'm still unfamiliar. Like there's sync, there's serial.
Right.
So like multi-initiate, but then they just go off track.
Right, because with yours, it's like you lay the percussion, and your loops are built to your percussion that you've laid.
Yes, and that's generally the shortest loop. It's like it's the most redundant, but that's to give me multiple points of entry. So it can be 2 versions of that phrase, or 4 times, whatever it's gonna be.
Right, but it's like mine, I'm playing to like a canned beat, because like the beat is not coming from me; it's coming from the beat buddy.
Yeah,
and it's on the grid. So like all of a sudden my rhythm section, my guitar and bass, all of a sudden it's not lining up with the drums, and all of a sudden it's like just like a quarter of a beat off, and all of a sudden it's just like a nightmare.
And is that scooting as you add layers? Like does the machine kind of...
It would scoot every time I would stop it and start it back up again.
No.
Yeah.
That's the most fun part.
I know.
That's
and
the safety switch.
That, right.
Man.
And it never did that for years. Like
and then one day it was like...
Right. I would be able to just like, stop parts, stop and start in songs. That was like a key part of it.
Yeah.
But then like all of a sudden one day I'd just like stop it, bring it back in, and it's just like a mess. And I just have to like stop songs. It was embarrassing.
So when you talk about like, so you got a device that's full of canned beats and you get to know that catalog, and like I feel like there's access being a drummer to remember what all these things are because you've known about them for so long versus someone else just looking at those presets. You get your 5 versus maybe you're interested in more like 40 of these things.
Right. I mean, and there is a whole lot more that goes into it. You can like download all sorts of beats that have like 6 to 8 parts on it. Me, I'm just like, all right, I got like a blues beat, a funk beat, like a hand percussion beat. If I'm not gonna like loop anything, I'm just gonna like turn the looper off and just like have it like some like cajon style beat, and then I'll just like play a song.
If someone's gonna throw you something brand new,
hand percussion beat,
because I'm
not
then
gonna
start
try to loop
choose after that.
Yeah.
Cool. And is it ever adding any other arrangement pieces besides beats that you've been like, okay, this arrangement's tried and true of this song, so I have this sitting with this loop in case I need it?
No. Everything I have is always done right off the top. I don't have any like pre-recorded tracks or anything like that.
So what's the guitar channel look like then to kind of give you space for your bass lines and your lead tones and things like that?
What do you mean? What does it look like?
Like, do you have additional processing or additional tools for that?
No, it's just into my Line 6 pod, and I just have like an octaver that I use for the bass tone. I keep it pretty flat on the low end for the guitar just to make sure that there is room for the bass.
Yeah.
I don't want like a real like chunky sounding guitar tone, and then like the bass comes in, and then it's just like this huge wash of sound, and then you can't really make out anything.
Yeah, and that I'm just starting to make that connection. I'd say my maturity about my space in the music as a guitar player, as a vocalist, where you literally sit compared to other people in the mix, has recently changed a lot. I think that's looking at it on something like Logic or just having that play. But I've realized that these big, lush guitar sounds are actually causing phasing issues with the bass.
Right.
And they're subtracting from the lines they can play and add interest. And there's no interweaving. There's just layering. It's like looking at lasagna that's not being held in anything. It's just falling the fuck apart, you know?
Right. But like from your experience going into that world, you didn't really see that until you saw it like laid out. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
I can literally see the lasagna layers now.
Yes, and then appreciating the what and why of those things, like hearing guys talk about getting out of each other's way in records, and talking to people about how you get out of their way in the rest of the set. It's like they're really humbling conversations, and to feel like I'm just figuring that out is pitiful.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm grateful. You know.
Well, there's also like a fine line, because like, you know, when you find out too much of the what and why, it can actually ruin it for some people. Like some people have to live in that world of like, all I know is like what sounds good and what doesn't sound good, and that's like how they make their whole career, their whole success. But like, you know, someone like you have to like dig deep, be like, nah, I'm not just happy with just being like, this is this just sounds good because it does. Like you like to know.
I think that's in some regard. Like sometimes you watch other people and it does lose the sexiness once you're in on the joke.
Right.
But great art, I think you can consume multiple times. Like first time I listened, I had a good time listening. Second time, I loved the chorus. Third time, the bridge emotionally connected with me and it broke my heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you can develop a relationship with these songs, that's how you get like comfort shows and comfort foods and comfort albums. Like,
Totally.
what when you got long drives for long runs? What's like the first album you put on when getting out the driveway?
Well, if it's like a really long drive, and especially if I'm by myself, I'll put on it's an album called To End the Illusion of Separation by Papadozio.
What a heavy name. Holy shit. Say it again.
To End the Illusion of Separation.
Neat. Super neat.
Papadozio, because it came out in 2012. It was like kind of like my intro into like, I was just kind of coming into like the festival scene and kind of that thing, and like they were just kind of popping off at that time. So it has this real nostalgic factor. So it kind of has that like comfort food kind of thing that you're talking about. But it's also, since it is like a jam band kind of, but it's more like electronic, it's like over 2 hours long. It's a double album. So if I'm going on a long drive, it's like, as soon as I get through this, I know I've jammed out at least 2 hours of this drive.
Yeah, I think people in the jam category, they do have like, those people have hobbies that allow them 4 hours to appreciate the whole thing and to go back to that. It's like, you know, there's something really evocative about a show of that length. You know, anything above 2 hours, like you put some time into that shit, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's just the recorded album. But the people that know the live shows like that is like a level. Like those people open my eyes to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they can know, like, you know, what's your favorite Fish set? Like, oh, it was, you know, New York, 97, this song at 13 minutes and 45 seconds when Trey does this thing on the guitar, and they go from this song, and you're like, there's no way. And like someone else chimes in like, oh, I love that part. And you're like, there's no way. There's no way. There's like hundreds of live albums. They know the exact part that they're talking about. It's like the fandom just goes on levels that, I didn't realize existed.
And is that what really made you fall in love with the jam category? Was like the listeners and the environment of listening, or?
Well, it was essentially back then. It just felt like, you know, it felt like the 60s again. You know, it felt like, you know, it's like, oh, we're doing something here.
Yeah.
And you know, you're young, and you know, you're seeing things and doing things and like believing things that like kind of like come at you in the, you know, very sensory overload type of ways.
Yeah. How old are you when that's going on?
21.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Prime time, baby.
Yeah.
There's something so different about being a musician, just trying to make it in that at that age.
Oh yeah.
But especially that category of the jam world, where it's like you're living off of grilled cheese and a shag carpet and a Chevy, man.
Right.
Like it's
and you like feel okay still, you know.
Yeah. Your body's totally willing to let you do this. It's like he's probably just trying to kill an animal, so we'll eat good tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't stress it. Then your body's like, he's been taking a lot of MDMA. Like, it's like, we gotta slow him down.
Exactly.
The water's no good at this festival.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, it's like I met some of the most interesting people that I've ever met in my life. I mean, I saw some of the most interesting art. I saw some of the most beautiful things. Like I was on festival lineups with like Alex Gray and Allison Gray that, you know, back in the day I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. But then like looking back on it, it's like who they were and everything. I was like, man, I really like took it for granted sometimes. And it was like being on bills with people that are now like, you know, like crazy popular, like Pigeons playing ping pong, and like people know that's like a household name now.
Yeah, dude. I think it's one of the most approachable in that category. Like Pigeons is every non-jam band fan's favorite jam band, you know?
Well, yeah, but it's like, you know, I could just say, it's like, I remember Pigeons playing ping pong when they played like the pre-party at, you know,
smoking a pipe
festivals. Yeah, where they were like, you know, like super low on the lineup. And it's like, you know, you can have those stories all day. But But
how does that affect what you're doing now with Sundae Drives and like the aspirations to that? Because I think
that whole thing really kind of branched out into the mainstream really fast, and I think that people don't realize that. It's like live artists. That was not really a big popular thing until like the jam band thing kind of made its way. The whole festival market. I mean,
do you mean by primarily live artists, people that don't put out studio work?
No. I'm just talking about like when you go to a show, there's like somebody painting.
Oh, okay.
And they just like got a canvas set up and they're just like painting.
So it's like multi-medium art exhibits. Yeah.
Yes, like that. Like I never saw that until like I started going to festivals, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of painters here. Like just a lot of people. Like, and there was a whole other like lineup of people that were just like, here's all the musicians and here's all the visual artists, and that had like its own lineup, and it was like its own portion of the festival. And I was like, wow, this is like a super huge portion of it. So then my band at the time, we just started incorporating, like we knew a ton of people that painted and things like that. We're like, how would you like to paint at the show? And they're like, that sounds awesome. And then we would just get like the live artists in there and just try to incorporate as much as we could. And it just really showed that like shows are just so much more than the music anymore. And now, since that thing has been kind of going on for a while, people almost expect it, where it's like kind of like they go to a show now, it's like, oh, it's just music. Cool.
That seems like a different level of just like where we're at in the world. Like you could always pull out a phone and watch one of the greatest shows of all time. Like that's tough competition from where we've come from, where it's like if you went to a bar and the radio is cutting in and out and nobody's singing, it's kind of weird in there.
Yeah.
But people are talking, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But now you're in a world where, especially if I go to a festival, I want to walk around and be entertained and be in this little microcosm and not think about that stuff.
Exactly.
But there needs to be enough for that, and it's a lot to bite off. Like I'm trying to figure out a festival that's more of like a family-oriented music festival.
Yeah.
But like you say that, and it's like, well, shit, I probably need to get together and actually add some art, because that seems like the right call for people. You want to go and feel like there's many ways to experience this. Like when you go to Radio Artifact, like you watch what's going on, the projectors on the back of that screen. It's like that takes it to another level.
Absolutely. And that was the other thing that side showed me, was that like production is everything, even to like a small level. Because we started touring like with a light guy. We like had a light guy, we only had, we weren't any big shots by any stretch of the word. We were like touring into like tiny little venues, but we're showing up to like the fucking dive bars and being like, our light guy's got to set up all his stuff around here. Like we need to load in like super early and blah, blah, blah. And like being like kind of a pain in the ass to these places.
Yeah.
But sure enough, we would set up in these like tiny little spots, and like the one band would play, the other band would play, but then we would play, and we'd had like movers and like stuff everywhere, and it's like it just stood out, and it's like it just seemed like after a while it was like after you lose that, you're like, I'm so spoiled by it now that it's like the production value is just so valuable, which is what I love about Radio Artifact and what Devin and Ryan have done. I mean, it's just like amazing that they take so much care into their venue,
and they have so much live interpretations. Like last night I was playing like a private party. It's like just putting lights up helped out a lot.
Yeah.
But then they had like a big like TV on like a mover mount. So I plugged in, I went to YouTube, and I just looked like moving paint. And it's just like, at least that will do something.
Yeah.
But when you watch someone interact with the show in that kind of a way, like then it can get competitive to looking at the sensory overload that you can get on a phone. It's like it's weird to say that our standards are higher when a lot of people look at that era of art and they say like the music of the 70s is better, the art of the it's like there's an argument to be made that because people were more tuned in and they experienced less of it, that they're biased towards that.
Totally, yeah.
But I think where we live right now, it's like you have to make the extra effort to be more entertaining than anything else that's within immediate vicinity.
Yeah, and I think it's very like polarizing at the same time. It's like there are some people that really like are like, as you said, like they are expecting of it, and like the EDM scene now. It's like even to like a small level, like it needs to be like video screens and, you know, big subs and like big everything, big ass production. That's like the standard. If it's not like that, it's like, yo, this place is kind of whack. But then there's like this other side that is just so happy with like a drum kit in the corner and like 3 people screaming into a microphone.
Yeah.
And they love that. And they fucking get so down and they just like have like just unbridled rage. And it's like,
good way to put it.
yeah.
And it's when it comes out in the music, it's a very strange phenomena. But it's like you watch Metallica play to 1.5 million people in Russia. It's like, no, those feelings are definitely needing expressed.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they wrote that. You
Right.
know, like things are cool.
Right.
It's difficult though to when you are a young band. It's like you're bitching about not being able to load in at 4 o'clock or something like that. Like most of the time, the path of least resistance is what you should probably go with.
Yeah.
But building out those paths and figuring out the best way to do things is such it's such a time on kind of game. It's like you can't earn that experience any other way than booking shows, messing up the sound, your lights don't work, shit goes just absolutely through it. It's like next step back, you're gonna do better, hopefully.
Right.
You know, like
right. But like you got to keep having at bats
for sure, and you got to keep having a weird aspiration to enjoy it yourself. That's what I'm finding out. Like the more art you make, almost the more people might discourage you at times. It's like you need to be having so much fun that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks of it.
Yeah.
And then people might gravitate towards the joy that you have towards it, or that they also have towards it. Best case scenario.
I mean, Tyler the Creator is always talking about that thing of just like, just create no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Like, who cares what anybody else thinks of what it is? Just do it.
Yeah. When that's a weird thing to pair with like I have a lot of fear about songwriters' rights and what your content's worth and what your songs are worth and how do you make a living in this game when, you know, sometimes I question if anyone deserves to be full-time in this game when the computer can make as good a song as most of us can.
Well, depends on what you mean by full-time in the game, because there's like so many different avenues.
Yeah.
That like, you know, there's guys that could be full-time in the game of like doing what me and you do, just going out and gigging a lot. And then there are guys that are just full-time in the game that are just like behind the computer screen all day long and just be like, all right, I have to track this for this little company. Okay, now I got to track this for this little thing. And like just like, you know, freelancing your time out like that.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's like, how do you make a living off of it without sacrificing the kind of artistic integrity that you're wanting to maintain?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just saying, like, just the proposition of making a living at it requires a lot of give and take in the artistry, and that's a really weird, you know, box of questions to ask. And as technology gets better for people to get exactly what they want without having to go through other people for that kind of thing, it's going to get really hard to justify the value. It's like it's just another reason to turn in and be like, no, I'm going to do this for just me, because that's the number one enjoyer of the thing, you know?
Totally. But it's like, how do you maintain it for just you, like without the income?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, there's definitely a point in time where you should ante up, you know what I mean? Like, should you still be in this game, or should you go work on a jet engine or something like that?
Right.
That job will probably get automated well first, though, I'd like to think, you know?
Well, I don't know. There's guys that go to school for a long time for that.
Yeah, man. That shit's so weird, though. I wonder what it would be like to have a career in the tech world where it's just like, nah, I'd prefer to go to a bar every day, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the tech world just seems like really scary and like, you know, very vague.
You have to be like a cold operator, you know?
Yeah, but I think that the music industry is the most vague industry ever. Is that like...
in terms of like personnel and titles and whatnot?
Just in terms of like, well, yeah, titles, credentials, kind of like what, you know, what you were talking about, like what are, like who is worth what, you know, like where does like stuff come from, you know, like everything's kind of secretive at the same time. It's like, oh, I wrote a book on how to do it, but it's like, when you really ask them, like, how do you really do it? They're like, well, I can't tell you that.
Dude, there's a sequel that I'll write when I'm poor again. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll just like feed you some like softball-y stuff again.
Yeah. Well, I think like you can get structure with it, but this is a game of subjective tastes varying by every single person. It's like, so when someone tries to give you the formioli, it's like, well, man, we're not even cooking the same food. Yeah, exactly.
There is no formioli.
Yeah, and again, like if you're not having fun with the aspects of it, like the personnel and the craziness, like, you know what credentials come down to? Is it laminated or not? Like, make a badge, laminate that shit. You're getting in the backstage, baby.
Yeah.
And now you're opening up for Kings of Leon. I know it can happen. This is my TED Talk, everybody. You want to hit the big time, laminate a name card, walk up to Kings of Leon, you're in the band now.
Right, but it really is all just based upon, like, what you visualize as success. Because it could be, you know, I know guys that were like, oh, if I'm not like shooting to be like topping like with Post Malone, like I'm wasting my time. I should just stop right now. Mm-hmm. Other guys are like, I would like to play a release show. If I played a show, that would be it for me.
It would complete me.
Right. That would be totally cool. But
where
like,
do you fall on that?
That is where I've been kind of struggling with recently, because like there's like so many things that's like I could do X, Y, and Z, but it's like, will that actually make me happy? Like, will that actually make me any more important? It's like, who does that really like mean anything to? It's like, it really only means anything to me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I could say, I've made it now. I'm right where I need to be. Or I could say, like, I'm not going to stop until I am number one on Billboard. Mm-hmm. But it really, it's just based upon this, like, how much you want it.
Yeah.
Because there are some days where, like, you know, I've been in, like, months-long ruts. And where it's like, I'm not spending any time on it. And then it's like, you can beat yourself up time and time again. It's like, I'm not spending any time on it. So, like, well, just stop now. Mm-hmm. But it's like, that's like the worst excuse ever. It's like, there's so many things coming at you of just like things telling you like it's probably a good idea not to do it, and then so many things saying like, it's probably a good idea that you should do it.
Yeah. Well, what was the thing you said when you came in today where it's like something about like just working on myself every day, you know? Like, what was the phrasing?
Oh, I was in the business of bettering myself.
Dude, that's a great way to put it, and it's like, read that every day, because
I have been. Yeah. It's been good for the last like month or so.
Mantras are awesome, man. Like, mantras and prayers are the same thing. It's like, I'm going to say this in a way that I find soothing, repetitive. It's a cycle, but at the same time, it has a focus and a phrasing to it that I want to affirm myself.
Yeah. It's like you said, mantra or prayer, same thing, just call it something else.
Yeah.
Different word.
And I think we should all be in the business of bettering ourselves to see how it betters other people around you. It's just a social understanding of what's best for you. It's
hard.
Yeah, well, because everyone wants best for them regardless what they tell you. At least there's selfless people out there, but like I think like there's altruism. Isn't that the word for it? Like just doing good for the sake of doing good.
Yeah.
There's people out there with that, but
but there's just a lot of people that like to say that that's what they should do, but they don't want to actually go through those practices.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what drove me away from the whole kind of like festival thing, was like I saw like so many people just like saying like, you know, we're trying to save the world, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do this, we're just like trying to be better people, be better this. And it's like, really, when you look at it, it's like you're not really bettering anything. And it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth after a while, and had to go a different direction. It's like, it's not that I didn't like the music or anything, but it was just like many nights out there, just kind of like you kind of wake up to certain things.
Yeah. Well, I think that's fair of any place you go for like spiritual satisfaction.
Totally.
like art's like maybe on the 15th listen I fell out of love with the song, you know.
Totally. Maybe on the 20th listen, I hate this song now.
Yeah, maybe I play this song in a wedding band that won't be named, and it actually makes me upset. Honestly, I can be such a pain to myself because I put on some of these records. I'm like, God, this shit slaps. And it's like, but you don't, Matt. Like,
right.
So get it together. Like, listen more. But you know, like, there's something fickle about this game and about this, because music does make a difference, but not all music makes a difference. Not every show makes a difference, and there's a level of acceptance that we all gotta have. Like, and when I look at people that are just good doers that try to kick ass,
Yeah.
I welcome the fact that, like everything else in life, like they need balance. So they probably have their issues just like I do.
Yeah.
But if they're out here trying to do better, that's cool, and I'll
Right.
take that. I'll take that
More power to 'em.
mutual, you know, love as much as I can. But I shouldn't need that to keep me up, you know.
Yeah,
And, I tell a lot of people our line of work is being very temporary friends to people. You can come to my show whenever you're having a shit day. You can come once a week and say what up, and I'll try to play you some shit to cheer you up, or I'll play you some sad songs of mine.
Yeah.
We can literally hang out. It's not the same thing as kicking it with your buddy, but maybe you don't have all those things. It's like, so what are you doing? You're taking in strays of people, and you're trying to give them the kind of soothing and affirmation to go out and do better in their life. But if they don't, that doesn't discourage your meaning or their meaning. It's like it's part of the game that's weird, and it gets culty very quickly.
It can get pretty culty.
I had a guy tell me I look like a cult leader the other day, and they looked me up and down. He goes, "It's probably the necklace." And I was like, that was an awesome interaction. That's so funny.
Were you wearing the Birkenstocks too?
I wasn't wearing Birks. I don't have Birks. I have the Velcro strap-on sandals.
Because if you're wearing the necklace and the Birks, like with like the hair and stuff, I could see it a little
Can I
bit.
fix it with cargo shorts? Like, what do I need to simmer down? A mustache?
I don't know.
I was talking to my fiance the other day about, you know, if I used to have a unibrow, very, very prominent, very beautiful. You know, I mean, 4th grade was a strong year for me.
Damn, by
So-
4th grade.
By 4th grade, I had both a unibrow and a mustache. And this is
Damn,
exactly what I'm
son.
getting to. Picture just those things. When you lift your aviators up, it looks like you have 2 sets of
Can
eyes
we
and
like
2
pull
mustaches.
up a picture of that? Can we pull up?
No, I shaved it before picture day. That's why I started shaving.
There's got to be a picture of it somewhere.
I'm sure my siblings could give you like a police sketching, because that shit was silly, but like not like the police did it. Like my siblings could do it. They're artistes.
Oh, I thought you meant like a police sketching from like when you were in the 4th grade. Like,
Dude, mustache
Little
and
GTA or
unibrow
something.
4th grader robs local CVS with an airsoft gun.
Yeah.
More at 5.
then steals a car.
I can guarantee my music career would have been much more fulfilling if that's how I started.
That's why it's Matt Waters.
That's why I need an alias.
Yeah.
Man, how many great bands change names when they need just a quick way to get away from the law? I guess you can't do that anymore. You can't change the band name and change your stage name and get away from the law. But that's a pretty cool aspect of like old country, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like one of those bands that, you know, wears masks and like goes under aliases like the whole time. I think that like those bands are like they got some serious dedication.
Yeah.
It's like they all like, you know, name themselves like the same last name or whatever, and like it's on everything, and they all wear masks and no one actually knows like who they are.
It's a hard gig to keep up, man. We're doing a show with Here Come the Mummies again.
Oh, yeah.
And like their website is just like all the mummies' names. Like everyone has an alias, but after 20 years, no one knows who these people are.
Right.
And it's like shit's just bizarre, you know?
Right.
Or Ghost. Isn't that the other big one? Ghost is like almost like an operatic rock band.
Okay.
And it's like the center dude has some kind of like vampire-esque outfit, and everyone else is a ghoul. Shit's rad.
Dude, there's one band though that I'll always be jealous of, and that's One Republic, man. Like those guys can play like crazy big shows, but if anybody from One Republic was like right in front of me at like a gas station or something, I would never know.
I don't know if that's true, man. That
I would never know.
Ryan, whatever, the lead front man.
You don't even know his name.
It's a valid point. Google's right here though. I can get you, bro. Come on, give me a chance. He was just on that NBC songwriter show, which seemed pretty cool. Like,
oh, they're a great band. Like they make great stuff. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying you would reckon. Okay, maybe he would. Maybe he wouldn't. Chris Martin is the opposite, though, where it's like Chris Martin exceeded Coldplay in a way that I didn't expect Chris Martin to exceed Coldplay.
Yeah.
You know, but still has the band. Unlike Maroon 5, where it's just like Maroon 5 is Adam Levine, and then that Valentine guy under contract, but that's just for a couple meet and greets a year, probably.
I feel like though, like Maroon 5 is kind of like a band, like how Fall Out Boy is a band now. Where, like, but Fall Out Boy is different because like they don't even have like an Adam Levine front. Like they had like Pete Wentz, but he's the bass player.
Okay.
Like Pat Stump sang all the songs.
Is he not in the band anymore?
Oh, they're all still in the band. It's all still the 4 original members.
You're just saying like you wouldn't know who this guy is, like.
Right? But it's like they don't even sound like a band anymore.
Yeah.
But I will take that back. It is 2023. They just put out a record that's like an old like homage to their old stuff because they got literally so far away from pop and so far away from like music in general that I don't know what Fall Out Boy was doing in like the mid 2010s.
Man, when it comes to a band that has that many hits though, it's like Pitbull. It's like as much as I want to talk mad shit about Pitbull, you go to one of those shows and it's nothing but bangers. And I don't care about being struck out when you go out there swinging, making weird soundscapes in your basement, because you don't live a normal life anymore. You live in a bus. You come back and see your family. You just sit in your pool and think about God, you know?
Right. I just think people don't realize how old Fall Out Boy is. Their first album came out 20 years ago.
Okay. And they're probably mid-20s at that point, like?
Maybe even younger.
Okay, well.
Maybe even. I mean, they were young.
So they were only like 40-something?
Probably.
I feel like they still got prime time left.
Oh, yeah.
They can still have some hits.
Yeah, I mean,
Robert De Niro's having a kid at 79.
They got enough. Oh, I'm not saying that. They got enough money to be okay for a while.
They can float around a little bit.
Yeah, stay in great shape, But I'm just saying is that, like, a lot of kids listen to Fall Out Boy, and it's like, I don't think you realize, like, Fall Out Boy is, like, older. Like, their career is older than you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what year were you born?
96.
Yeah, Blink-182's career is like older than you. Blink-182's career is as old as me, and that's probably, I mean, it's just because their first album came out in 92.
Yeah.
You know what that means. Like, they were definitely a band before the first record was actually like released.
Yeah.
It's like they're still out here making music.
Is Mark sick? Is that the deal? Did Mark have cancer of some sort?
Travis Barker did.
Travis Barker did?
Yeah.
Travis Barker's gone through it, but he's going to end up like Keith Richards, dude. Nothing's going to be able to kill him. Guaranteed.
Nothing has been able to kill him yet.
He's too much a pimp.
Yeah.
He was smoking 20 backwoods a day at one point, and I heard him say that, and I laughed hysterically for like 10 minutes. I was like, why would you do that to yourself?
An interesting thing about Travis Barker, I said something on the internet which sparked this whole thing. I said something on this guy's video that he was like drumming and he just has like the total Travis Barker like flailing the arms around back and forth, and I was like, Travis Barker is the new age John Bonham. Change my mind. And everyone's like, he's not John Bonham. I'm like, that's not what I said.
Yeah. Which it's a peculiar statement because like you don't want to compare apples to oranges, but like in terms of the statement of how you play and people following that suit, it's like there's a similar impact there. And it's also just a great rock band. It's like Blink-182 is a killer band, and thank God Tom's back and all.
Right.
I hope he's not done with Aliens. I think he has a lot to tell us still.
Yeah.
I hope that comes out through their music.
Yeah. I just think at this point it's like, yo, guys, you gotta know when to call it.
To be done with the band?
Yeah. Because
I don't know, man. I saw Cheap Trick in Milwaukee maybe 8 months ago, 7 months ago. I have a really bad gauge of time. And they didn't sound amazing, but it's not my call to tell them, hey, you're losing. It's like, no, I bought the ticket. I want to see you rock. You want to come out and do it?
I get that.
You know,
I get that.
I'm gonna play on stage till it's ugly for other people.
Were they doing everything in the OG keys?
Probably not.
See, now that's where Blink-182 has been going wrong. They're trying to do stuff from the keys from 20 years ago.
Okay, yes. And that just doesn't...
And they're like throwing auto-tune on their voices and stuff to try to hit the notes. And it's just like, guys,
yeah,
let's just take it down a little bit.
Yeah, that's a weird choice. Auto-tune live is peculiar. I didn't know it was happening on a show of mine in Arlington last year, and I listened to the live stream. And
wait, there was auto-tune on your mic and you didn't know?
Yep, I had in ears in. I had no idea. You know,
that's amazing,
dude. I don't hear the front of house signal in the slightest. I'm just keeping up. But on the live stream, like I hear it very prominently. I was like, this guy T-pained me out, but like it wasn't a bad call. You know,
it probably sounded kind of cool.
I think
like,
as an
like
occasional
different.
tool, it's great. But if it's a crutch, it's like,
oh right,
yeah. But then you know what aspect of production isn't like that? It's like, do you want your favorite bands to be able to rip acoustic in a room? Like, absolutely. Like, I want to be on the ball without a microphone just to sit in here. Is that the truth? No.
Now, is it cool, though, that, like, what if all of your songs were already all T-pained out, and then when they see you live, even acoustic, you still got the auto-tune and like you're like talking in between the songs with the auto-tune on and it just becomes like your persona kind of thing.
Hear me out. Not the best option, but whatever I gotta do to get one of those voice boxes where I just swap this baby out and then I just get an auto-tuned speaker connected to like a little voice and I project that out. It's like what's the thing you put on the back of the guitar? The tone wood or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That puts reverb in your guitar. We could do that with me in like, I don't know, 2 trips to Menards. Save some big money, you know what I'm saying?
2 trips to Menards, 2 trips to the hospital. Yeah.
Dude, no. My fiance's a nurse. I got someone at home. Don't worry. I got...
You think she could like affix that to you, like on the back?
She's definitely familiar with people, so I don't know what she can do. You know, I've never really asked. When we get down to the nuts and bolts of it, I'm normally not asking for procedures at home. She's offered to hit me with some of that saline, though, if I need it. And I'm like, that's neat. Yeah, that's a definite way to fix somebody up if they're really dehydrated.
Hit him
with the tap. Yeah. She can hit an IV pretty well. That's kind of her game. She's always checking me out
cool
for
with
it.
That?
No.
Oh.
If I needed it, I would definitely let it happen. But needles freak me out,
man. Yeah, man, I can't do it.
You're a heavily tatted person to be that skittish in needles, though, Nick. Like,
well, it's a very different needle.
That's fair. And how have you kind of rationalized that to yourself? Like, do you watch videos of like tattooing? You're like, that's the perfect depth. You're like, that's just deep enough.
I mean, it's just like a whole different thing, you know.
Okay.
It's like that's just like one spot, and like you can feel it go like into you, like
into the meat.
Right. I mean, tattoos is essentially just like getting like scraped pretty hard, over and over and over
for a long period of time,
right? And it's just
with
like
the amount of
scraped and scraped and scraped.
How many hours do you think you got into both sleeves?
I was actually thinking of I was talking to someone the other day. They said, how many tattoos do you have? And I said, well,
it's hard to say any of those are one or many, you know?
Right. I was like, well, it's like, how many tattoos do I have, or how many times have I been tattooed? And it's like, I probably have at least over like 100 hours underneath.
Really?
Probably.
How much do you think that cost?
I don't like to think about that.
It's a weird thing. You think about the amount of money you spend in a lifetime. You're like,
sure,
where'd I put all that shit?
Right,
but
right.
For something that's tangible, for something that you wear the rest of your life, and it's that kind of expression. Like a good tattoo is worth the money every time. It's not something that you want to mess up.
Now, I actually, since I've been writing songs a lot more recently, I kind of have made this parallel between songs and tattoos. And like, I'm not into like tattoo culture. Like, it's weird. People think that like, since I have as many as I do, they're like, oh, let's talk tattoos. Let's talk like inks and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah,
it's like,
you're more of a consumer of the craft.
Right. And like, it's cool if you do, like, that's fine. But it's like, I don't really know anything about it. But of just like how people get tattoos that are like, you know, it's like this tattoo has like super deep meaning, like the yellow flowers are like the you know, the ones that my grandma picked from the garden when I was little, and then you know, it's like, and then other ones are like, this thing looked really badass, so I got it.
Yeah.
Like on my body forever. It's like you can have songs that are like that. Like songs that are like, this took me forever and it like really means like this thing. And like, I feel like I tried to make all of my songs like that. Which is why like I could never really like get a lot of output.
Yeah.
Because I was just taking so much time into like what it means and like what it means. And yeah, but really it's like you can just like make one that's just like, this one just looks cool.
Yeah. Stays on the one for 4 minutes and we vibe.
Right.
You know,
this one just looks cool. And like I thought of it one day and here it is.
Yeah. And are you feeling like, you know, what's the ratio at this point?
What do you mean? What
of songs that are really meaningful that you're working on?
Still more meaningful than not.
Yeah. And
I can't. I have like this weird thing. Like it's. I mean, the tattoos are like. I mean, yeah.
Well, how are most of the songs starting at this point for you?
They start with kind of like just outbursts of melody now, and just like things that I want to say, because I've spent so many years in bands, like, you know, writing my own stuff, but also just being in stuff with other people. So always like having like being creative with other people's messages, and it's like I just want to say what I want to say. But it's like I've then thought to myself, like, you know, is it artistic enough? Is it like this? Is it like meaningful enough? Going back to like, you know, overthinking like the depth of things. It's just like, but then I hear other stuff, and I hear other stuff that people are like, this is an awesome song. And then I listen to lyrics and I'm like, these are just so simple and so just like plain. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with them, but it's just like, I've just been overthinking everything for so long. It's like, I can just say what the hell is on my mind, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be this like dressed up piece of prose, you know?
Well, I'm battling right now with like the two sides of your first draft of everything is shit.
Sure.
And then there's things that just fall out and they're right, and it's not because they seem right at first, it's because I'm not gonna touch it. You know, it's just like I've made the choice to let it be what it is. And like to your point about being like tattoos, it's like tattoos. It's in the way that, like, you can put it on, it can be your personality, you can express that, but you can also retire those things. It's like it has no permanence in your life. I got people come up and ask me about songs I had out in high school, and it's like, I'll play it for you, absolutely. Is it a prominent part of my day-to-day catalog? No, I find it embarrassing, but I will relive those moments because for some reason you got some sick joy out of it, and I'll take anything from you people at this point. It's like,
well, think about Blink-182, songs that are 20, 30 years old. It's like, do these songs mean anything? Like, I wrote this song when I was a teenager. I'm like an old man now.
Yeah. When also when the
Sorry,
content,
guys, like, they're not like that old, but like you get it.
They're definitely collecting some kind of retirement. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
They're seeing the end as much as we're seeing the end. But again, like, I support their right to like turn into garbage up there, like, and keep have pay for tickets, like, whatever. Like, if you want to do it, do it. You should charge less as time goes on. Like, be reasonable with yourself. But if it's fun for you, like, no one's gonna be able to rob that from me. I'll turn it into a mess. Yes, exactly.
Now, if these guys are just up there, just like suffering through every last set, and you can really like see it, it's like, all right, guys, are we here just because like we want another check, or are we here because like we're doing it for the fans? And you know,
but I think there's a weird thing at this point in my life with songs. There's a weird thing about having your pile of unwanteds, where you can just like, you can go picking at any point in time and be like, no, I'm gonna figure this out today as a chore, as a chance to better myself. Now I'll go back looking. And it's like, and you just gotta have a fat book of nonsense and entertain that. It's private. It's just for you, but you could always show it to the world, and that part's gruesome but awesome, because then you got to be done with it. You know what I mean? Like,
but showing it to the world, what does that look like?
Does that
mean just like playing it at an open mic, or does that mean like
No.
going through all of the channels of the social media and the sponsored ads, and like does it go through all of that just to say like I want to show people something?
No, I think if it goes on the internet in any way, shape, form of like a permanence, like it's gonna sit there and collect views if it wants it. That's enough for me to say you did the thing, and like I think our fatuation, like the need to be on Spotify or to be on anyone's particular at this point is slowly going away. Like everyone's gonna have preference on where they go for those things over time, but does it really matter for every artist to be on every platform? It's like no. We're going to find the ones that are best monetized for you and your goals and what you want out of this exchange with people, and we'll go from there. Like Kanye had that weird like stems player. It's like, did that take off? No. But for certain people,
interesting though?
Yeah, exactly.
It really was.
Man, that concept still makes me want to go to live shows and hit me with the silent disco A/B feed in addition to the house. So I go in, I pop my headphones in. I am a bass heavy and drum heavy person, or I am a lyrics person. Give me those two mixes to reinforce every show. I would love that.
So you want it to be one act, but silent disco style, as in like where it is in like the frequency band?
I'm just saying silent disco for like how they set it up. But
yeah,
you
with
go
like the headphones and the channel switch.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I want there to still be a traditional front of house, maybe a little less volume, maybe something that's a little bit more manageable for people.
So if you take the headphones off, you can still hear it.
You can still hear it. You're still at the show. But if you want uninterrupted to listen, then you get to choose your preference of mix to reinforce the live sound.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, dude, I think that could be really nice. And like you could probably figure that out on traditional FM radio, and you can just dial into those things like you do when you go to the drive-in movie theater.
Yeah.
Or you can knock that out on iPhone. You know what I mean? Like AirPods, I want to isolate myself from the world. I want tons of ass, and I'm going to see Pitbull at Riverbend. It's like he hasn't talked to anyone for 45 minutes.
You're talking about like something that can like tether straight to your device, not like a third-party thing that they give you?
Yeah, put it on an app. Put it on Ticketmaster. Put it on something like that.
That would be sick.
I would really...
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out this idea for a while. Someone steal it and make it a reality, because I just think it's neat for a show. Like
it'll be a thing now that we've like spoke it into existence, like publicly. Yeah,
there's also something like, think of all the videographers in your life that go and get footage, and like there's nothing funnier than listening to a shitty camera on a DSLR go around a drum kit, because you hear like the filter sweep and like the different shape of that. So sometimes I think about like just take a wireless pack and plug that guy in and run it from there. But
right,
yeah,
but back to the
just have a good submix. You know what I mean?
Back to that production value.
Yeah, man, and making it clean so you can print and run. It's like I spend too much time in post with content that is just a shot in the dark most of the time. Like, thank God for the podcast, so I can post a clip every day of something different, and normally not have to be a clip of myself and have to look at that and think, like the ego of trying to be a musical personality or any kind of personality eats your brain out. You know what I mean?
I mean, imposter syndrome is like a huge thing. It's just like it all just depends on what you believe in and what you stand for. Because I mean, I struggle with that a lot. As soon as I turned 30, was like the ego and like what it takes to be an artist. And like I was just like watching my ego kind of like slip away, and I was like, how do I keep going with this? How do I like, look people in the face and be like, you should care about me? Because it's like, if I didn't even care about me, it's like, why should anyone care? Because that was always where I got stuck. And that's where I feel like a lot of people get stuck, is like, we always go through the who, what, where, when, and why. It's like everyone can really hit all those first ones pretty easy. The who, the what, the where, and the when. But it's like the why. That is the factor that like, that's like the ticket. Is like, why should someone care about me? Or why should someone care about a Matt Waters? It's like, because of what I'm going through in my life and blah, blah, blah. Or is it just like, I need some party jams and Operation Funkadelic was like the thing? It's like, the why.
Yeah, and that becomes a sales thing. It's like you can't beg people to do that. It's like begging people to be your friend.
Totally.
It's like you got to be a smooth operator, and the fact that you're delivering a service at a certain point in time. It's like there's a limited window of consumption. There is a cost associated with it.
Yeah.
And then you have to convince someone on the other side to give you stage and slot and pay you to do it. It's
right.
Like, so there's so many.
You have to give them the why.
Yeah, exactly. You have to justify that why to them. So like figuring out consumer experience. How do I go from not knowing you at all to liking that to wanting to know you to knowing you to liking more of this? You know what I mean? Like how quickly can we repeat that cycle? And sometimes when you think too much in that psychology, you stop appreciating your listeners as people. And you think of them as customers. It's like it's such an emotional game. And it's so twisted because you don't have traditional record sales to pad yourself. Like there's much less affirmation of I like your shit and now it has a place in my life, because there is anything and everything on the table on your phone at all points in time. Like it makes it harder and harder to have a good, meaningful experience. I do believe though, like there's something great when we can have a club like Fishbowl that puts up 2 other people every single week that I really like. So when I do a good job there, it's not about them coming back to see me. It's about them coming back to Fishbowl to see live music.
Yeah.
And I got 2 other people that do the exact same thing. That reaffirm to people that the experience you invested in tonight is worth it. I'm going to try to enhance the fact that's worth it.
Yeah.
And hopefully you continue to support this, because what we all need to make Cincinnati a music city, or a music city, at least for the musicians that need it to be, is populate the listening body. And and you get those people in the folks that just want to play a show. You get that in the people that are just taking guitar lessons for the first time, or the randos who are like, man, I don't know what y'all are doing up there, and you played this one chord, and I tingled for a long time. It's like, so I came back.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I think that Danny does a good job with that. Yeah, with like operating his business like that.
Yeah, like to give residual chances to guys that are trying to earn it. It's like, that's great.
Well, not just that, just like his whole atmosphere. Like he's built the atmosphere to make it easy for people to be accepting of it. Mm-hmm. Like you walk in there, it's a really cool, different vibe. All of a sudden, things are happening. The drinks are different. You're like, oh, this is cool. And and like, I mean, he does that across all of his things. But yeah.
Well, I think any club that chooses to do it is doing right by me, at least in that. But it's the consistency to the commitment. In the same way that you and I are committed to, if I got an idea, I'm making a song. If I got a stage, I'm having entertainment. And it's like, you don't have to die on that hill. You don't need to run your business in the ground. No one wants to see that. But developing different stages for different things and different listeners for different things is something that we're all responsible for. Like, there's a guy named Tyler that I met the other day. I can't remember his name. He runs the open mic at Fretboard. Okay. He moved up from Nashville. He's like, on some Friday nights, I don't book a gig, and I go see a friend's show. Yeah. And, man, I never do that shit. It's like, dude, and it's not the right thing, unfortunately.
Right, but at the same time, like, I was having this conversation with a bartender from this, I can't remember where it was, but I was talking about that people, when they see, like, somebody like you, and it's like, how you say, like, here are my gigs this week, and you, like, list off, like, 4 places, people are like, yo, dude, you must be, like, killing it right now. Mm-hmm. And you're like, do you go to work every single day? Yeah. Like every day? Bro, 5 days a week? You're crushing it right now. You must be killing the game if you're going 5 days a week. You're like, well, no, this is just like, I have to work every week. Like the bills don't stop. Like none of that stuff stops. So like, but we just do it in a very public way. Yeah. Like people come out and like your friends see you and they're like, oh, this is so cool. And you're like, yeah, cool. But like, I do have like a business kind of thing with this place. So like, behave, please. Yes, be respectful.
And, we should always reaffirm through the access that we have on a microphone how great bartenders are and how great security is, for the fact that you can go to places and it is orderly and it is quality experience and it's worth it for you. It's like, totally. I go to a lot of places with sticky floors and shitty attitudes, and it's like, that has soured a lot of us. But that doesn't mean you can stop appreciating someone that pours well, gets to know you, likes the music sometimes. Like that's the most fulfilling relationship in my exterior band world is the bartenders I play for every week.
But the last thing you want is to ruin that with somebody that you know personally that like comes to hang out and be like, yo, Matt, we just came to hang out and see you play. And then they end up causing like a huge scene and you're like, yo, this isn't just like you having a bad time. Like, this reflects on me like 110%.
But that's kind of like that show Gladiator that they had on the early 2000s where it's like, let's just bring some dummies in here to cause some issues. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to try to get a drink, and here comes this guy with a tennis ball gun. I was playing down at the Banks at an establishment that was not Fishbowl. And it definitely rhymes with the tan, the tan daddy.
Yeah.
And this guy came in wielding an American flag, checks out my shit, my merch, walks up to my pedal board. Like, people always come look at your feet,
Yeah.
It's no concern on my end. Come check it out, brother.
Especially with such a elaborate layout. They're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, if I'm looking at my feet the whole time, they're going to come look at my feet for a little bit. But this guy's wielding this American flag. So I just keep doing my thing. I got my eyes closed. I'm having a good time. I'm trying to do my job as best I can. Next thing I know, there's 3 Cincinnati cops with their flashlights on this dude, and they're like walking him out of the bar. And then he's outside the door, and the cops are in the street, and his back is kind of like to the open doors. Security goes and closes those doors like very discreetly, locks him. I'm like, nice. That was a great move on security that I love very much. They did the right thing because this guy had pulled out 2 knives. It was running in a circle in Tin Roof with like Naruto style, arms at the side, like running around with these knives.
Where was the American flag at this point?
Still wielding.
How is he wielding an American flag and 2 knives?
I think he's double dipping in one hand.
Oh, okay.
But again, I didn't see any of that.
You were just in the middle of a song.
I was playing Hurricane by Luke Combs, which doesn't feel like my favorite choice, but like whatever. So then I watched this guy like slowly get taken down by like 20 Cincinnati PD cops, and thank God the vibes were still immaculate. Like security did a good job. The bartenders are still serving drinks. I'm still playing Luke fucking Combs.
Yeah.
And this guy's getting arrested very quietly outside. Right. So like A+ situation.
There's actually like a lot of talent that goes into that.
Yeah. There's a lot of confident employees going through a really weird thing right now, and I'm not saying I'm one of those. I didn't notice, but those people kicked ass.
Right. I think that that's one of like my talents that I bring to like the table into like the industry of like weddings and things like that. It's like, I'm not like the music school student, but I do know how to like, keep some like drunks at bay.
Yeah, you're like, I tracked a guy at a festival in '96 because he wasn't breathing right, and then I got back to my set. Do you know what I'm saying here? Your wedding's safe in my hands, miss.
Yeah.
She's like,
it's like if they get drunk and they start like cussing and they start yelling stuff, you're like, yo, hey everybody, let's calm it down.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when people get to that point, like especially down at like a place like that that you're talking about down on the Banks.
Yeah.
Things like that happen all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like you just have to like just play right on through it. Like you did. Like somebody else would have been like, there's cops? Oh my God. And stopped and been like, what is going on? And then if you stop, all of a sudden the whole vibe is like, what's happening? And then they direct their attention straight to what's going on, and they're like, oh my God, and now we got a frenzy.
Yeah, well, let me say this. I wasn't playing Hurricane well enough that they were focusing on me. They still were watching it go down. Yeah, exactly. I was just performing my act, in a way that I saw fit in that moment.
You were filling the air.
Exactly. Just keeping things level.
Yep.
Every once in a while, you have to stop things on the mic and like answer an altercation. But most time, it's better just to proceed. I've watched some great fights in other establishments, and I'm not saying I egged it on, but my WWE commentator came out, and I was like, that was a great bow. Like some. I'm not.
You were
serious.
Commentating the fight?
No.
I
don't have that kind of skill.
Have you ever like had to like stop for a fight though?
I didn't have to stop for it unless I wanted to, but I've stopped for a fight before.
Yeah.
And be like, hey guys, or like security this is probably your problem now.
Yeah.
But man, I know some really good security guards. Like, I watched some guys handle some really shitty situations just like a pro, and I don't think anyone appreciates that job as much as we should.
Right.
Because we're the ones that bring our fancy ass equipment in there, and we're playing these songs about our feelings. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they keep it safe when shit goes down.
Exactly. They're kind of like like firefighters of like, that whole thing. It's like,
Except they're drunk, and I like that.
But like, I'm just saying is that like, if it's like a chill night and they're just like chilling there and they're just like, these security guys, they just stand around and get paid. It's like, yeah, but like when shit goes down, like they're the ones doing shit that nobody else is gonna want to do, and and they're gonna handle it with the quickness and with authority, and you're gonna be like, thank God that guy has been standing around all night. Like, that same lazy guy you were talking about?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, he's
These guys
actually kicking ass.
They have trust and protocol about how to get this done. But like at the same time, they are just friends like me who we work at a bar every day. So like we have such great casual relationships.
Sure.
Where it's like, no, I'll do a shot with this guy every time I get a chance. It's like,
If you can, yeah.
Yeah, like, this is my friends and family, man. They keep me safe on this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
We're all on this boat together.
Yeah, I think as the entertainment industry begins to really find its new footing, it's like it's not the same that it was, pre-pandemic, but we're back to the game, and we all got to get better at the experience to get more people out in the clubs that want to support the music. It's like, don't tell me there's too many bands.
No.
There's definitely not enough listeners, and we do that by earning their trust, lovingly, patiently, a song at a time. Take all your bad ideas, cook that shit down, show it to them, ask them what they think, give it a chance,
It's all about just finding them, really. I mean, like, I said this about Sundae Drives a while back, of just like, we're not trying to change the world. We're not trying to be like, when you go to Kroger, like, oh, that's us. You hear it? That's us. Like, we don't want to be that. It's like, we just want to find every Sundae Drives fan that there is. That's our goal.
That's a great way to put it. Like, no, I'm just trying to find all the people that are gonna like this shit.
Yeah.
Amen to that,
for
brother.
them. Like, I don't care about being like, it's like, oh, my song's charting here, and here. Like, that's cool for like, different sides of things, but it's like, you got to know where your lane is.
Yeah. Well, Nick, you are a beautiful contributor to our music community. I thank you for coming on for a little bit and chatting with me, brother.
Thank you, man.
Anything you want to promote in particular, where they should find upcoming shows for Sundae Drives, your new stuff?
When is this going to be aired?
Maybe like a month.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what day it is.
Let's see. If it's going to be a month, then we're going to miss the one show that is coming up.
Well, tell them that they missed it at least. What is it?
All right. June 1st at Radio Artifact. We are playing with
Big Gorgeous?
Big Gorgeous. Again.
Dude, I have yet to see that show, but
Dude,
the videos
are
are absurd, and like that's production value, man. Like,
yeah, and I'm actually really excited to see them on such like a big stage, because their show is so like, costume changes and things like that. Like, it really kind of facilitates that.
it's a space that could do the production value that they deserve.
Yes.
Well, cool. Well, if you missed it, y'all, sucks to suck. Okay, where else?
Other than that, Adam and I are in the midst of recording still. I'm in the midst of writing some stuff myself. I'm going to be at an industry night at the Tin Roof on June the 26th.
Very nice, very nice.
It's on a Monday night, and I'm going to be playing some original songs. So
Let's get it. Is that the Ethan and Joey thing?
Yes.
I will also be there, Flair.
What?
June 26th, you said?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to be on that. Let's get weird. Ethan and Joey, we love you, brother.
All right, cool.
Peace, players.
Let's go.